I have a brand new 2024 Honda Goldwing Tour DCT, and guess what? The Chinese are trying to knock off the Honda Goldwing.
And welcome to yet another episode of Crown and Comments with your host and resident Goldwing guru, the one, the only, Cruiseman. Brought to you by Cruisemansgarage Honda Goldwing Maintenance Videos.
Hey everybody, welcome to Crown and Comments May 2024. I'm Cruiseman, and I am going to give you a quick update on what this show is all about. In case you're new here, you've never seen the show before, we basically talk about motorcycles, but sometimes I will get off track and to my own detriment sometimes, and talk about things I probably shouldn't talk about. But will that happen tonight? I don't know. It could. This is probably going to be a pretty long video, longer than most Crown and Comments. So if you want to skip certain sections and skip right to a different topic or segment, I'm going to put links in the description of this video where you can click right through and go right to the section you're interested in. In the first section, I like to talk to you a little bit just about bring you up to date on some old news, new news, things happening around here. Just so you know, I will get into talking about my new Goldwing here in just a second. Again, if you're new to the show, what I try to do once a month is sit down and go over some of the comments that you guys put in. Basically, it's comments that you put in on my videos. And I'll go through those comments and I will pick out some that I think are of particular interest, and I'll respond to them here on this show and either answer your questions or just give you my response. First thing I want to do is update you on the podcast, which is Garage Talk with Cruiseman. And if you didn't know already, that's available on Spotify, it's available on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and I think there's one or two others out there. But when you watch the podcast on YouTube, it tells you where you can either hear or watch these podcasts. My last podcast was with Rick Arnaldo, who is the founder and president, CEO, I'm not sure the title he prefers to go by, of wingstuff.com. And for those of you, I doubt if there's anybody out there that's not aware of Wingstuff, but Wingstuff is the largest Honda Goldwing specific accessory and OEM parts sales warehouse, online shopping place on the internet. So if you need just about anything for your Honda Goldwing, you're going to be able to find it at wingstuff.com. And Rick is a super interesting guy with an interesting history. So make sure, if you haven't seen that podcast already, I'll put a link up here in this video and in the description down below. Make sure you watch Rick Arnaldo's podcast. It's actually very interesting and fascinating. He and I have a lot in common, the way we got into motorcycling. So this last week, I was invited by Sena. I'm going to call it their headquarters because that's where their CEO is. He's here in Plano, Texas, which is just one of the cities right next to Carrollton where I live. Well, they invited me to come over and take a look at some of their new products and some of the new things that are coming out, some of the things that are in development. They're not in production yet, and it was very, very cool. I really appreciate Sena inviting me. I call it Sena. We had this discussion there. Is it Sena or is it Sena? I used to always call it Sena. I think Robert White still calls it Sena. Some people call it Sena, and everybody chastised me for calling it Sena. So I've started calling it Sena, but whatever it is, this is the company that makes the Bluetooth communication devices for motorcycles. They have all kinds of industrial applications as well, not just motorcycles. They're also getting into bicycling, or cycling, I guess you call it. I'm going to do a video on my visit to Sena. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, please click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss that video. Make sure you click that notification bell. That way YouTube will let you know next time you go into YouTube. They'll let you know if we have that new video up and ready for you to watch. You're not going to want to miss that. I think it's very cool. Okay, Other news is we have some discount codes. If you haven't taken advantage of this already, I think more than, well, I don't know how many, but more than 100 of you, hundreds of you have already taken advantage of this CarlinKit discount using code Cruiseman. I'll put links in the description below. This is the wireless Bluetooth device for your motorcycle. If your motorcycle has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto capability, and you normally have to plug the phone into your motorcycle, well, the CarlinKit allows you to do this wirelessly, so you don't have to keep plugging your phone into the motorcycle to get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Also, brake-free. If you haven't ordered your brake-free helmet light already, we have got a nice discount code with brake-free. $30 off of their normal $169 price. I think they discounted their unit $20, and then you get an additional $10 if you use code Cruiseman. I'll also put a link in the description for that. So I never ride my motorcycle without the brake-free helmet light on my helmet turned on. I just don't do it. If you watch my motor vlogs, you've seen me put my helmet on. I always have the brake-free on there. I feel the same way about Bohn armor. I wear Bohn armor. I wear their armor in my Olympia jacket up top, and then underneath my jeans, I wear their Cool Mesh. I think it's called Cool Mesh. Undergarment that has all the level 2 CE armor, and you can save $10. It is, the promo code for this is a little different. It's called CG Podcast. So any order over $70, you'll get a $10 off on your order. So check out Bohn armor. Okay, those are the outside sales, you might say. Now, I am also having a Memorial Day sale this year on my maintenance videos. If you have a Goldwing, and if you don't want to spend $700 to $1,000 a year on dealer labor charges just for basic maintenance items, you can do these things yourself. I show you how on these videos. I have a complete video series, more than 80 videos in the series. You have unlimited access. You don't have to subscribe and pay a monthly fee. You purchase it one time. You change your oil once or twice. You've more than paid for the videos. 20% off Memorial Day. This is going to end after Memorial Day, so make sure you take advantage of it now. The promo code or the coupon code is Memorial. Next thing, so a lot of you have been asking when I was going to have a merch sale on shirts like this, the Shadow Wing, the Shadow Bagger. Well, Memorial Day, I decided to go ahead, 15% off right now. Promo code Memorial24. Remember the year, 2024. So remember, Memorial 24. It's a little different than the discount code for the videos. So 15% on your entire order, save 15% right now. Okay, that's it. Last thing I'm going to talk about in this segment is this. I've been getting a lot of links from people asking my opinion about this new Honda Goldwing knockoff, for lack of a better term. Let me go to this. I want to go to the website, and I'll put it up on the screen for you too. If you haven't seen it already, there is a Chinese automaker that's coming out with and I think they also make motorcycles, but they are coming out with a 2000cc flat 8. It's a GWM SOUO S2000 GL. Well, first of all, I'm not going to buy anything if I can't pronounce the name of the company. Okay, so that's the first strike against it. So it looks to me like kind of a combination where somebody got a Goldwing and they mated it to this Yamaha, I think it was the Venture. The fairing of this new bike kind of looks like that, as well as the saddlebags. It looks massive. God only knows how much this thing's going to weigh. A lot of you have asked my opinion about this. Number one, I haven't seen it. Number two, I don't even know if they're going to sell it in the U.S. I don't know how they would have a dealer network, and I don't know who would sell and support such a motorcycle. Maybe these independent motorcycle shops would sell them. I doubt that they're going to build out the infrastructure for a dealership network here. I don't have a real opinion on it. I know a lot of you say, oh, this is the bike I've been waiting for. You haven't even seen it yet. You haven't ridden it. You don't know what the quality is, what the warranty is. You don't know how much it weighs. You don't know anything yet. Call me cynical, call me suspicious. They're going to have to prove to me what this is all about. And then there's the reliability, the long-term company's going to stand behind it. How long have they been around? I don't know. I don't know any of these things. So I don't believe any videos out there right now because I haven't seen it in person. So I take everything I see online on YouTube with a grain of salt. Okay, when we come back from this short break, I'm going to tell you about my brand new 2024 Honda Goldwing Tour. Well, welcome back to Crown and Comments, May 2024. I'm Cruiseman, and now I'm going to tell you a little of the history about this 2024 Honda Goldwing that I just recently picked up at Southern Honda Power Sports in East Ridge, Tennessee. Some of you have already seen the video where I introduced the bike. I was riding back from Tennessee on this new bike, and I told you a little bit about it. I had reached out to Kyle at Southern Power Sports about getting my fuel pump replaced on my 2018. So he informed me at that time that Honda was, there was a little bit of a delay on these fuel pumps, the replacement fuel pumps. Mine was one of the fuel pumps that needed to be replaced. I had talked to him about riding the bike out to Tennessee. And one question is, why not just get it replaced in Dallas-Fort Worth? I mean, we live in a big city. There's 3 Honda dealers, 2 Powerhouse dealers, and 1 Honda Maxim that sells Hondas and other brands too. Kyle was a guest on my podcast, so there was a little bit of a relationship there already. And 3, I love riding to Tennessee. I love riding in Tennessee and those states that you have to go through, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama. I was looking for an excuse, honestly, just to get out on the bike. And when Kyle told me the fuel pumps probably weren't going to be available when I wanted to come out, he suggested, hey, have you thought about maybe trading your bike in on a 2024? And honestly, I hadn't thought about it. But basically, I think when I was on the way out there, I did a motovlog and I told you guys I'm on my way to pick up a new fuel pump, which was true. I did get a new fuel pump. It just happened to be installed in a 2024 Goldwing, okay? So I was about 90% sure I was going to be driving home or riding home on a 2024 Goldwing. The reason I wasn't 100% sure and I didn't want to come out online or on YouTube and say anything about it is because, until the paperwork's signed and until the deal is done, until I've seen the bike and inspected it and know it's, what I want, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to get out over my skis and start talking about a bike that may or may not happen. Anything. A deal can always fall through, right? I didn't say anything until after I had the bike in my possession and I'm on the way home from Tennessee back to Texas. You may be asking, what did I move from that bike over to the new bike? Well, I moved my F4 Customs windshield. So that was to their credit, Southern Honda had a guy come out and he helped me. Actually, he did most of it, but he moved all this stuff over to the new bike. And apparently that's a service they will offer. Had I known that they would do that with the traction engine guard, I would have left the engine guard on my 2018 on the way up there. I went ahead and removed that before I left town, thinking, when if I do get the new bike, and I get it back to Dallas, the first thing I want to do is put that traction engine guard on. I didn't know that if I had just left it on the 2018 and ridden it to Southern Honda, they would have swapped that out for me at the dealership. But it did come with highway pegs, Gold Strike highway pegs, which I'm not familiar with. I've never had Gold Strike. I don't think I've ever had a Gold Strike product, but I've never had their highway pegs. And they had them set at the middle position. There's like 3 different locations, maybe even more than that. Even in the middle position, they were still a little too far out for me. I tried them a couple of times when I was on the road, and when I got here, and you may have seen the video already, I moved them back to the farthest back position. I may even try rotating them up a little bit just to give my knees a little bit of a bend, because right now my legs are pretty straight out on those highway pegs. And first impression on the highway pegs, they're very nice. They look nice. They look well made. They don't feel real sturdy. If I put weight on them or I press down on them, they flex. They have a lot of give. And they also feel like they're very close to the ground. Like if I took a pretty strong turn in a sweeping corner, they would definitely scrape. Some of you have asked me about my seat, because I had my seat rebuilt down in Bryan College Station by John Conley at Wingsoft. I did not move that seat over to the new bike and vice versa. Maybe I can just take the bike back down to Bryan College Station and have John rework that seat, because I really do like the Wingsoft seat. What's interesting is on the way home from Tennessee, I was actually pretty comfortable. I was shocked, because when I got my 2018 Goldwing, I remember the first time I took a road trip, I couldn't go more than an hour to an hour and a half without getting off the bike and walking around, because I was so sore. And it's not like Honda changed the seat. So something's changed in me, or I don't know what it is, but all I'm telling you is I rode 800 miles in 2 days coming home, 825 miles. I was pretty comfortable. Yeah, I had a little soreness, had a little back stiffness. The only problem or issue I've had with the bike so far is one morning when I left Mississippi coming back to Dallas. It was kind of cold and rainy, probably 55 degrees. Actually, I take it back. It was the day I left Tennessee to go to Mississippi. It was about 48 degrees, 45, 48 degrees. And the heated hand grips aren't working right. I don't know what it is. At one point, it felt like they weren't heating up at all, and I had them on full max. And then all of a sudden, it's like the right hand grip was really hot, but the left hand grip was ice cold. So has anybody ever had this happen before, where your heated grips on your 2018 Plus Goldwing weren't working correctly, or they were heating unevenly? I've never had that happen to me before. So I'm not sure if they need to get broken in a little bit. It seemed like toward the end of the day they were working a little bit better, but I don't know, it might be my imagination. You tell me if it's ever happened to you. Otherwise, I may have to get like a warranty replacement of those grips. Okay, well, when we come back, your comments, my reactions, that's coming up right after this. Hey everybody, welcome back to Crown and Comments, May 2024. I'm Cruiseman, and now it's time for me to read some of the comments that you've posted to my YouTube videos and give you my reaction, or if it's a question, I'll try to do my best to answer it. If not, I'll put that question out to the community and maybe they can answer the question for me. First one comes from, I don't know how to pronounce these names. Come on, guys. Come up with a simple name like Cruiseman. I mean, let's just Man, HNGOC. Anyway, doesn't matter. He says, he or she says, I'm debating between manual and DCT on choosing 2024 Goldwing. I know you have lots of experience on both. Which one should I pick? Thanks. I wouldn't even know how to begin to answer that. I think here's one thing to consider. If you don't mind shifting, if you like shifting through the gears, go with the manual. You'll save some money because it's a little bit cheaper than the DCT. I don't remember how much cheaper. I know that at Southern Honda down in East Ridge, Tennessee, they're making some really good deals right now on those manual transmission models, so you might check that out. But for ultimate elegance and for the future and the best technology, man, it's hard to beat this DCT. It is so smooth and I don't know. I'm a big fan of the DCT. Okay? But either one's a good choice. I don't think there's a bad choice. This is from 24 Goldwing. Congrats on your 2024 Goldwing. I bought the same combo last December 9th and have over 11,000 smiles on Pearl. I guess Pearl is the name of his bike. Looking forward to seeing your video on installing your accessories. Well, I've already done one video, but I only put on a couple of things. There will be a series of videos because these parts are coming in at randomly. I'm still waiting on some stuff to come in from Southern Honda, some of the Honda line parts. I just got a box in today from Showchrome with some things that I'm going to be putting on. I'm waiting for some stuff from Pathfinder LED. So it's going to be a process, and it'll be over 2 or 3 videos. I hope it doesn't bore you. If you don't like those videos, I guess you don't have to watch, but if you're interested in that, I'm going to be rebuilding up this new Goldwing. Maybe not quite as much as I did the 2018, but I'll be putting my favorite stuff back on the bike, and I'll tell you what those things are as we go along. This is from BKR549. Great interview. This is my video where I did the podcast with Kyle from Southern Honda Powersports. Great interview. It has me thinking about a new 24 Goldwing Tour. I'm not sure if I want to trade in my 2014 Street Glide I bought new or just buy one outright. I saw a white 24 Goldwing this weekend and it caught my attention sitting in a parking lot. I'm in Northwest Ohio, so it would be a round trip. So what do you think? Well, I did respond to his email and I said, man, go for it. Go ahead and get it. Get it while you can. Whether you trade in your Street Glide or you keep the Street Glide, and maybe once you get the Goldwing, maybe you'll want to sell the Street Glide. I don't know, but okay, let's go down to the next one. GW Rider 22146. How do we feel about using the Garmin Zumo versus CarPlay / Android Auto? Okay, good question. I used CarPlay and Google Maps and Apple Maps this entire last road trip to Tennessee and back. I did not use my Zumo at all. And I'm going to do a video here in the very near future where I do show the comparison of these different GPS platforms, and we can throw the Honda Nav in that as well. And I'll tell you why I ended up using Google Maps. I love the Garmin interface. I love their GPS. I love the Zumo interface, the screen, how it works, how easy it is to skip waypoints, how easy it is to have multiple waypoints. What I absolutely hate about the Garmin Zumo experience is creating the maps on a Macintosh computer. Because I had always in the past used Basecamp and then was able to easily transfer those Basecamp GPX files over to the Zumo. And it got me so frustrated. I worked on it for 2 or 3 hours and I finally just said, hell with it. I'll just use Google Maps. And I did. And it worked pretty well. There were a couple of reasons, a couple of things about it I didn't like. Couple of things that, almost points of failure, you might say. I'll talk about that in my video where I go through all this GPS comparison. Okay, let's go on to the next one. We have M8679. I'm going to try to make this brief because it's a long message. He's asking about tying down the motorcycle to a trailer. How do you secure the motorcycle to a trailer? I'm concerned about swaying and falling over. I tied them to the grips, then found out that was not approved. You definitely don't want to use the handlebars as a tie-down point if you're putting your Goldwing on a trailer. Definitely don't do that. I can tell you how Honda crates the bike. And I'll show you some video because I shot some video of this at Southern Honda when I was there because they had several Goldwings sitting around in crates. For those of you that want to see how Honda ties down the bikes when they crate it to the dealer, this strap here goes over the seat You can't see it because the seat's sitting there, but they it basically is tying it down to the frame underneath the seat. They do not use these rear engine guards, but they do use the engine guards on the front. Just in case you're interested in tie down information. At the rear, what they do is they've removed the seat from the motorcycle and they've put tie down straps across the frame under the seat. So if you want to do it the way Honda does it, that's what you would do. You would use the frame rails underneath the seat to strap it down. And now I have trailered my bike when I had the accident there in West Texas, and they just used the engine guards front and rear, and it was no problem once you chalk the front tire in the little, whatever you call that thing, chalk, I guess. And it went fine. But if you want to do it the way Honda does it, pull the seat off. You might want to put some microfiber cloths on your saddlebags so that those tie-down straps don't accidentally rub the paint, and tie down to those frame rails, and then tie down to the front engine guards in the front, and you should be good to go. Okay, this is from DC632A. If I missed it, apologies. And this is on my oil change video that I did. He said, if I missed it, apologies, but did you or did you not also replace the DCT filter? I did not in that video. And the reason I did not is I only replace my DCT filter every other oil change. Usually change my oil every 3,500 to 4,000 miles. And I'll do the DCT filter. I do the oil and filter every 3,500 to 4,000 miles. And then I'll do the DCT filter every 7,000 to 8,000 miles, which is much better than what Honda recommends. This is from Aprilia Joe 5030. Congrats. This is on my new Goldwing. Actually, this is on the accessory installation on my new Goldwing. Congrats again. Question: I'm doing my first tire change. I can't get two nuts broken loose without a gear to lock the wheel down. I tried wedging boards under the tire, but nothing worked. I even went to handheld impact drills and no movement. Well, first of all, don't forget you got a parking brake, and that will help lock that rear wheel, unless your parking brake, like many of us, is so weak that it won't hold the wheel in place. But when I took my rear wheel off, I used the parking brake, put it on as strong as I could get it, and that held the wheel kept it from turning. I also recommended that he use some penetrating oil or something on the lug nuts and maybe let it sit overnight. You could also apply some heat, but you want to be careful when you do that. So that's my suggestion. If any of you have any other ideas on this, have you ever had the lug nuts so tight you couldn't get them off? Okay, this is from the Only Red Special. I'm surprised you went for the blacked out version. I thought you were a fan of chrome. This is on my new Goldwing. I am a fan of the chrome. I would much prefer chrome mufflers, all the chrome bits, than I would the blacked out. I'm not a huge fan of the blacked out look, but that's all Honda has. Unless you go to the gray and black Goldwing, it does have the chrome mufflers and the chrome parts. But the more I'm around this blacked out engine and blacked out parts, the more I like it. So it's growing on me slowly. Okay, this is Winging It with John. I'm surprised you don't have a bike lift yet. Working on the floor sucks. Well, yeah, and the older you get, the more it sucks because it's harder to get up. I don't have any trouble getting down on the floor. Getting up's a bitch. But, you learn how to use the foot pegs and the passenger grab rail, pull yourself up. One of the reasons I have not had a lift in the past is when I do my maintenance videos, I wanted to be able to show owners that they could do all of these maintenance tasks without having to invest $1,000 in a lift or $500 or whatever it is. I wanted to show that if you just have simple tools, even if you don't have a lift, as long as you got a center stand. Now, if you have a bagger model, you're going to need a center stand. And that's what, a couple $100. But as long as you've got a center stand, you can do everything in my videos. And that's the reason I have not, or had not up until this point, purchased a lift. I'm considering a lift. I am considering a lift. I just haven't decided on which one to get. Okay, Tom Favale, I guess, says, doesn't the 2024 already come with TPMS? I'm curious why you added the FOBO sensors. And will those mess with the original TPMS units? Well, I'll answer the last question first. No, they have no negative, they don't interfere with the OEM TPMS at all. And the reason I did have the FOBO TPMS is because you can see your tire pressure before you even get on the bike. I mean, you don't have to be moving. I'd much rather walk out to my bike, look at the app on my phone before I ever start the engine. I can see what my tire pressure is. Richard Adams says, I'm thinking of getting a 2023 to 2024 Goldwing Tour DCT. Is there any reason to believe the engine in the 6th generation won't last 300,000 miles like the 5th generation? Not that I know of. I know of no reason why this engine would not be as reliable and have the same lifespan of the previous Goldwing, maybe even better. I don't know. I can't say that it's going to last 300,000 miles. It depends on your riding style. It depends on a lot of other factors, how well you maintain the engine. But no, I see no reason why this engine won't last as long or longer than the previous generation. Okay, this is from Obi-Wan. I think he's put comments in before, and this is on my new Goldwing, obviously. Looks like you're leaving me and others behind on future content of your 2024. I will not join your pay to view. I wish you the best of luck and will miss you. I don't know what the pay to view is. Maybe, is he talking about my maintenance videos? I don't know, because it doesn't cost anything to view the YouTube videos. So I'm not sure, and I'm not leaving anybody behind because the content that I make for the 2024 is going to essentially be the same as it would have been for the 2018 because it's essentially the same motorcycle. So I'm not sure what year model you ride. So I'm a little confused on that one. James Callahan, how is the stock seat? Essentially the same as the 2018 Goldwing. The only difference is the cover. The 2021 and later have that kind of I don't know what you call it. It's just I don't know if there's a name for it, but it's almost like a suede-like finish, but it is vinyl, and it is extremely easy to scratch and mar with your boot. If you drag your boot heel across it, it damages it. So that's the main difference. Now, it's not that way on the bagger model, and I didn't know this until I saw Mac's 2022 Goldwing. I didn't know they had different seat vinyl, but only the Tour models have this kind of suede-like finish. It's, it's okay. It's pretty comfortable. It's not the most comfortable seat I've ever sat on a motorcycle, and it's certainly not as comfortable as it would be or will be when I get Wingsoft to update it or modify it. But like I said, I rode 800 and some miles in 2 days, and I didn't have a lot of pain, so I was okay. Usually I have a lot of pain. Okay, user DF5 something. I have a question. Why go to this location to buy a bike when there are several good dealers in the DFW area with good mechanics? I've had great service at DFW Honda. Bought my last trike from there. Is there something we should know? Since my service tech left Maxim Honda a few years ago, I am not married to any local dealer. When I was looking to buy a 2018 Goldwing, every dealer I went to, including DFW Honda, was only going to sell at MSRP. I think one dealer offered maybe $400 or $500 off of MSRP. Nothing, they were pretty rigid, okay? So it just kind of, I guess I just got that in my head, and I never even questioned it. I never went back. Plus, Southern Honda and I sort of, after we did the podcast, we kind of established a rapport or a relationship, and I've heard nothing but great things about it. And I don't have a problem with flying or driving 1,000 miles or 800 miles or 300 miles to buy a bike. I just don't have a problem with that because it gives me an opportunity to ride the bike back anyway. That's all I can say. I'm not saying whether or not these local dealers here are good or not. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying I know I've heard stories about one of the local Honda dealers that really took advantage of, I thought, took advantage of a friend of mine when he bought a 2018 Goldwing there. I thought he way overpaid for his bike. It wasn't DFW Honda. And so, but anyway, that's my story. I'm sure they're a great deal. DFW is a good. I did have a negative experience with their service techs years and years ago. This has probably been 15 years ago. I'm sure the guys that worked there at that time are gone. It's probably a whole new service staff, but it always leaves that taste in your mouth. You know, I had a bad experience. It wasn't a terrible experience, but it was a bad experience. I'll tell you that story in a motor vlog coming up here in the near future. Okay. Indy Jones says, just installed Carlin in my 23 Tour. It works amazing and it was easy to set up. Thanks for the great video. That's the CarlinKit I was talking about earlier where we have the discount code. And I will tell you, when I got the 2024 Goldwing, I unplugged the CarlinKit from my 2018 Goldwing. I walked 2 feet to the 2024, plugged it in, and it worked. I didn't have to change anything. I didn't have to set anything up. It was already paired to my phone. It just worked. I'm very, very pleased with it. Okay, this is from D-Stench, I don't know. Congrats on the new bike. Can you tell me how much difference the white paint on the new one is compared to your old one? I bought a CSC trike kit for my 2018. If the paint is close enough, I would consider a new bike to install it on. As far as I know, it's exactly the same. It's the exact same pearl white paint that was on the 2018 Goldwing. I don't think they changed the paint color. It's probably got the same code. I can't swear to it, but I'm 99% sure it's the exact same paint as I had on my 2018. Okay, John Latham, has Honda replaced the bolt or pin you mentioned in past videos that was being sheared off and causing catastrophic engine failure? I have a 2018 Goldwing that I will be trading in as well. Congrats on your new ride. I said I was going to do another video on this, but since you asked the question, I do know. I had a long conversation with Max McAllister about this last week, that Honda has a different part number for that bolt on the 2021 and later Goldwings than they did on the 2018 to 2020 Goldwings. So that would indicate to me it's a different part. They maybe discovered there was an issue or could be an issue. I don't know that I would necessarily trade or sell my bike because of it, because I still think it's probably very rare. I did ask Kevin at Southern Honda about this, if they had had any cases of this bolt. Any of their customers had brought a bike in with damage to the engine. He said he hasn't seen one yet. So it must be pretty rare. They're the biggest Honda Goldwing dealer in the country, and they haven't had one yet. So obviously it's an issue, but I don't know how. Anyway, so no. This is from Dixie something. Dixie Livin'. What is the backrest that you are using? I'm using the Platinum backrest from Showchrome, and I really like it. Tim Ryder says, congratulations, Cruiseman. One of the first things I'm interested about is, did they make any updates to navigation, or is that Apple CarPlay you're running in the video? It's Apple CarPlay. They have made no changes to the navigation, not since the last update. Okay, Ferdinand says, maybe I missed it, but what was your decision to get a 24 and not wait for the 25 anniversary edition? The speculation is that there would be some desirable updates on the anniversary model, wondering if you know something and are not telling. I know nothing. If I knew something about the 2025 Goldwing, I would tell you. I take it back. I do know two things. Two things you can take to the bank. There are two things that will probably, most likely, 95% be different on the anniversary model, the 2025 Goldwing. So here it is. Get out your pen and paper, and I'm going to tell you about it right after this break. Welcome back to Crown & Comments 2024 May. Okay, I had to take a little drink there because I hope I don't piss off somebody at Honda by revealing this secret of mine about the 2025 Honda Goldwing. I'm getting ready to spill the beans. I'm going to tell you everything I know about it. And like I said, there's two things, maybe three things about the 2025 Goldwing that we know. There's videos on YouTube where they talk about the 2025 Goldwing. It's all bullshit. Nobody knows anything. Those are scam clickbait videos. Nothing's been announced. There's no press releases, nothing. So those videos are simply to get you to click and watch ads or whatever. I'm going to tell you the truth. You can trust me, right? Yeah. Okay, here's the three things that you can expect from the 2025 Honda Goldwing. Number one, most likely, different colors. There will be some different colors. I don't know that they're going to be different than the colors they've had in the past, but they'll be different than the 2024 model. Number two, there will probably be an anniversary badge of some kind on the bike, identifying it as a 50th anniversary Goldwing. And number three, are you ready? There will be a price increase. So you'll get new colors. You'll get, we don't know what the colors are. You'll get a badge of some sort, and you will get a price increase. I would almost 100% guarantee there'll be a price increase the way things are going right now. That's it. That's all I can tell you for sure. Now, everything else is speculation. Some people say, oh, they're going to do this, they're going to add new features, they're going to have radar cruise control. And no, they're not. I don't think they are. Maybe they will. If they do, great. We'll come back and you can look at this video a year from now and say, oh, you're an idiot. You should have known about that. I don't know. Maybe Honda will. Maybe that. Now, I could see possibly. We've talked about this in the past. I could see possibly Honda throwing in a few of their Honda line accessories for the 50th anniversary because they're going to raise the price. So to justify that price increase, they might say, yeah, but now you're getting HomeLink, or now you're getting the trunk light or the trunk harness, or now which you should be getting anyway, or now you're getting, I don't know what it could be, maybe the air deflectors, maybe just like they started including the fog lights, they started including XM antenna. Maybe they'll throw in some of these built-in at the factory accessories that right now you have to pay for and install. They should include HomeLink. They should at least include the buttons in the console for HomeLink so that all you have to do is plug in the module and you're ready to go. In fact, it should all be pre-wired and ready to go, but that's another story for another day. I don't know if they're going to do any of that. I don't know, but I know there's going to be a price increase. I'm pretty sure there's going to be new colors, and I'm almost sure they'll have an anniversary badge. And that is assuming that there is a 2025 Goldwing. So when you ask the question, what was my decision to get a 2024 as opposed to a 2025? Why didn't I wait? The only way I know to describe this is opportunity sometimes meets preparedness. You get to an age where my greatest fear is always waiting till the next thing, and then some life event happens, and then you're not able to do it. So you put off these things, and some of you out there right now are putting off buying a 2024 Goldwing, thinking, oh, I'm going to wait for the 2025 Goldwing. But what if something happens between now and 2025 that you don't anticipate? It could be something with the economy. It could be a health issue in your family or with you. It could be any... What I'm saying is the best time to buy the new motorcycle is when you have the opportunity to buy the motorcycle. Now, what happens if 2025 comes around and they come out with this amazing model with all these new features and a color that I absolutely love? And I like the white and black, but you know I love that 2022 blue. So what if they could bring that blue back? Or maybe some other color I haven't even thought about yet, like that root beer, that stallion brown or whatever they called it, pearl stallion. Oh God, I love that color. If they had that in the tour model, ooh, man, I would seriously consider that. So what if that happens? What if they come out with a 2025 and I say, oh my God, I wish I had waited. Oh, why didn't I wait on the 2025? You know what? I'll buy the damn 2020. I'll trade in this one on the 2025. If it's that good, so what? There's nothing that says I can't trade this bike in or sell it and upgrade or move to a 2025 when they come out. I'm not going to be putting off things that I want to do at this age. At this age, this is not the time in my life to be waiting for something that may or may not come down the road. So that's my reasoning behind it. I hope you understand that, and I hope you respect that. This is from Rob's Harley. Love your videos. They're very helpful. What, if anything, have you noticed different from the 2018 to the 2024 ride-wise? Does the DCT shift smoother? Is the seat and suspension better or the same? And anything else that you've noticed? Well, the seat is the same except for the cover. And some will argue that that cover might be a little more comfortable. I don't know. DCT transmission does shift a little smoother, especially on the downshifts. Power-wise, it's the same. My 2018 Goldwing with nearly 30,000 miles on it, and after having the front fork replaced in West Texas, after the semi backed into me, that motorcycle ran so smooth, so quiet, so tracked true. It was the only difference I noticed on the 2024 is because it has a brand new set of tires. It might have been a little bit smoother. I mean, just a little bit smoother, like on grooved pavement. But that 2018, it rode like a brand new bike when I dropped it off at Southern Honda. So ride-wise, I'd say the same. He asked about the DCT. Yeah, it does shift a little bit smoother. They made some changes in 2021 to the DCT. And you can notice it, especially on the downshifts. Suspension's the same. No change there. That's all. That's all I noticed, really, other than the heated hand grips not working properly. So that was it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a long video. Remember, I've got links down below if you want to just step to a certain part of the video. I want to thank you again for all your support, all your kind comments, all your well wishes. It really, really means a lot to me. I have met through this YouTube channel some of the, and through the Goldwing community in general, some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. We had a couple of guys show up last week for breakfast from Arkansas. They rode their bikes from Arkansas. And just super nice guys. Robert, of course, and Don were there. Dale was there. And we've just, this is a great community. So thank you for all your support. Much appreciated. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. That really, really does help the YouTube channel. Don't forget to share this video on your own social media if you can. And thanks again for joining me on Crown and Comments. I will see you in the month of June. Ride safe. Ride often and ride safe.